My name is Peter Wolff and thank you for watching the Wolff College of Coffee vlog. We're getting back to the roasting curve this particular topic, and we're really looking at specifically the drying phase. And the drying phase is really defined as when we first drop the coffee into the roaster, and the coffee will be green. It'll pass through the turning point and go from green to white to yellow, and this is the part that we'll be talking about today, from going green, from white to yellow, being yellow going forward, which is the Maillard phase, which we have sort of discussed earlier. So drying phase, what are the things that we do when we play around with drying phase here at Wolff Roasters? Well, the first thing is we look at expanding and contracting our amount of time in the drying phase. And the first thing about the drying phase is that we want to be able to get enough momentum into the coffee to be able to allow us to get off to a good start and give us that momentum to carry through the entire roast. So getting off with the right sort of thermal momentum is very, very important. The key things that we need to be looking at is moisture content of the green coffee again, so getting out your moisture meter, also putting the coffee on the water pipe, so checking out the density of the green coffee, so we're understanding just how much energy this coffee can handle and how much it will be able to be applied at the start. Too little energy at the start means that the coffee is going to take a long time through the drying phase, but also suffer from not having enough momentum in the coffee. So therefore we end up with a long roast, and we can end up with very dull and neutral flavours. At the other side of it, if we have really high pressure and high temperature start with lots of sort of energy applied at the start of the roast, one of the things you'll first notice is when the coffee comes out roasted is you'll notice that there's a tipping or a scorching mark on one tip of the coffee or one end of the coffee, and this is generally the weakest part of the coffee, and this is where the sprout would germinate if the cherry was planted or the seed was planted. And so this is the steam flashing or the water vapour coming out of the weakest part. So if we do see that you have a little bit of tipping only on one side of the coffee, this is generally a very good sign that there's too much energy used at the start of the roast. So look at either reducing your drop temperature at the start of the roast. It could also mean that your coffee roaster has been sort of sitting for a long period of time without any coffee in it, so the drum or the metal's overheated. And thirdly, it could be just simply there's just too much energy applied at the start of the coffee. Tasting defects in those instances, if we have too short a time in the drying phase, particularly is we're going to with little green, grassy sort of flavours. Coffee will be very thin, and we'll have some elements of metallic sort of bitterness to the coffee. Be very evident, particularly in black coffee. On the other side of it, if we have a very long drying time, we can end up with very dull and neutral flavours, low pressure forming, so the coffee won't have developed enough in time as well. So turning point represents, I guess, one of the measurement marks for me here. And so normally speaking, what we would define as a short drying time would be engaging the burner earlier or any time before the turning point, and long drying time we would develop as turning the burner on post the turning point. This is brand dependent on the type of roaster that you're using and the burner setup, so there are a lot of other things that sort of go into the performance of this, but definitely give it a try. There's lots of sort of fun to be had in sort of looking at affecting levels of acidity, sweetness and body within the coffee, but give it a shot. It's definitely worth getting off to a good start. Thanks for watching.